It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And coming up is Cameron Sutton, who's stating his place among the league's best with 6 picks this season. It's the Broncos and the Lions, and it's all up next.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every...
The Lions defense ready to go and in good form, coming off the shutout a week ago. And the one we'll be watching is this man at linebacker.
And he kept adding to his sack total last week. He's up to 15 now on the year. And there's no reason to think that he won't be a handful here as well.
Now Wilson on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. That time he was looking for Jerry Jeudy. And that'll bring up second down. You talk about this Lions defense. They put together a strong effort last week in the win over the Bears, CD.
An absolute shutdown game for them. And watching the game film preparing for this one, if people tried to run it against him, nowhere to go. Tried to throw it, couldn't complete anything. An absolute dominating game.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Aiden Hutchinson in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. The Detroit defense back onto the field. And they're playing with a lead here in this first quarter as this drive gets underway. On first down, Wilson. Man open, he's got it, puts it on the carpet, it's out, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing that danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
The Lions defense back out there. They'll try to get the football right back to their offense who just punted. So now they'll try to force a punt themselves. It's 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up 2nd down. The numbers on the ground for Williams a week ago. 13 carries, 57 yards.
Just an all-right day from him last week. He really didn't break out for the huge yardage he had hoped going in. I talked with him before the game, though, and he knows this is a new, fresh opportunity. He's put last week behind him, and his focus Getting some...
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will set up shop red zone territory at the 13-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last two, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
The Detroit defense back onto the field. They've had the upper hand so far in this first half of play, working with a good lead already as they look to defend this first down. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. It's Sutton. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege.
A pass for Sutton is intercepted. He may go. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick 6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders is not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick 6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
The Lions defense back out there. They got the pick 6 a moment ago, of course, by their linebacker. A fantastic play. And now they settle in to defend once more. They begin the drive with Williams. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. And he was brought down by big Levi Onwuzurike.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Again, it's Williams. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? is for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
The Detroit defense back onto the field. They've looked good so far. This whole team has, for that matter, in the midst of a big first half as this next drive begins 1st and 10. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
To throw is Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
The Lions defense back out there. And they'll begin by trying to defend a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. On the slant, completes to Sutton. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. Under pressure, they got him again. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game. But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
The Detroit defense back onto the field. They'll play with a lead here to begin this 3rd quarter. Looking for another solid half of football to carry them to victory. They start the 2nd half here with Williams. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. That result really no surprise. That's what we're coming accustomed to with this #1 ranked rush defense.
And you study the game. Does this bring back a few memories? Maybe the 85 Bears trying to move the ball against them, 2000 Ravens. Heck,
pressure comes and Wilson's going to go down. Marcus Golden able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It's almost closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Back to throw. Wilson. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. So 2 sacks for the rookie, definitely making an impact here in year 1.
And in a ton of different ways, because rushing the passer, That was supposed to be a skill that he was developing. Looks to me like he's figured it out already.
The Lions defense back out there. They've done a really nice job of slowing the tempo of this offense, and as a result, they've got a comfortable third quarter lead as this next drive begins 1st and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. So, Charles, I mean, this is just becoming an exhibition now on how to rush the passer.
Yeah, and I can't help but laugh a little bit because I'm enjoying what we're watching. This is coming from a guy who was in college just a year ago, and we keep harping on their evaluation. They saw not just a guy who could rush the passer, but could rush the passer well, and that's why they took him as high as they did.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Throwing is Wilson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's adding to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Detroit defense back onto the field. They'll start by looking at a 1st and 10 at the 25. They go play action now. Wilson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jack Campbell, the blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
You can just see it in their body. See victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Now Wilson. Left side, Williams. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. We're off to the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. You are watching the NFL on EA Sport. The Lions defense back out there. They've pitched the shutout here into the fourth quarter. Been sensational. The question, can they finish it off? They'll need to come up with another stop here. Here's Wilson. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Now it's Wilson. Screen play set up for Williams. And a gain of about 4 here moves this from the 6 up to the 10.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with a little gain.
Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And into the end zone. A scoop and score on a fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
The Detroit defense back onto the field. They had that strip a moment ago that led to the return for a score, so they're playing free and easy now as they try to shut down this offense again. Now Wilson. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Aiden Hutchinson. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. The front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Wilson. And he's going to go down again. Aleem McNeil, he's the one that drops in this go-around, and that pass rush getting strong here. Back-to-back sacks. He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
A dime look defensively for the Lions on 3rd. Here's Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Boy, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed asleep. So for Detroit, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they've plummeted now to 3-11, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.